All right, family, you know what time it is. It's time to get to that work. You on Ebony Republicans. Please make sure you Gmail me, send me some information, some tips, and any info leading to the discussion and conversation. I thank you for the emails that's been sent. I thank you for your hard work and your diligence to the sport of boxing. And no matter if you just got here or been here for years and been ignored, your voice hasn't been heard, well, come on board. We're moving on up like the Jeffersons. Guys, please check out my book, released on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle, and printed right here in the good old state of Texas, out of Capel. The book is called Black Women Rings Around Saturn. Black Women Rings Around Saturn. And if you get enough time and you want to check out my podcast and some of the things we be talking about on Spotify, go on and give me a follow on Spotify, Ebony Republicans. Same deal, nice and simple for you. And again, if you're talking about the book and you want to send me an email, send it to Clyde, Yorkshire. Clyde, Yorkshire. That's CLYDEYORKSHIRE@gmail. Thank you, guys. Guys, today we're going to talk about, just for a few minutes, Terence Crawford and should it be canceled. We're going to keep this nice and short and brief because we're a very educated bunch over here. We don't need a lot of time to make sense of this. Now, Terence Crawford is mentally ill. And I believe Bob Arum when he said that. Bob Arum said, from the very beginning, I chose Crawford to beat Spence because I've always believed he was the best fighter. He said, now, I don't think he's mentally stable, and I don't know if he ever will be mentally stable, to not only beat Errol Spence, but to take care of his business correctly and not make these abrupt and scattered-brain, weird decisions and long hiatus of non-negotiations, even with him in Top Rank. Bud Crawford is socially awkward. I believe Sean Porter's father was the first one to make mention of that and help us to appreciate who the hell is Bud Crawford. Now, some of old Bud's fans is acting like he's been on a Cosby or a Different World before. Bud Crawford is on Gilligan's Island. Bud Crawford is the strangest boxer right now in the game. And he's not mentally sound. I see that. At first I didn't, because he seemed to be almost like Earl. And I saw the mental condition after a while when I saw that Terence Crawford wanted to be Errol Spence. It didn't dawn on me at first. See, Terence Crawford always got picked on and learned how to fight, and he's a good and scrappy fighter. But Terence Crawford always picked his fights correctly. He know when to back off and when to shut it down. Bob Arum shed some great light on Bud Crawford, and I believe that Bob Arum found negotiations with Bud Crawford difficult because of his mental condition. He doesn't understand basic elementary comprehension. So the court of public opinion has canceled Terence Crawford, and I believe when he goes to fight on the new network, which is by many cases a fraud, I don't believe Terence Crawford will receive the $10 million. I barely believe he'll get $5. The sport of boxing, bro, is a real serious sport, and that's why even well-to-do and established organizations don't even pay that kind of money, because that kind of money don't just come up like that. Rappers ain't got that fucking money, man. Okay? Y'all be reading shit and thinking some of these rappers, they talking about, oh, he worth 50 mil. That nigga ain't got 50 mil hard cash. He should be worth that. Now, where the money going and where the books, that's what y'all don't understand. You understand me? Terrence Crawford is finna leave this game broke as a joke. Okay? And he's signing himself up to worse and worse and worse and worse deals. You claim Bob Arum didn't treat you right. You're going to step down from Bob Arum and go with some guys who can't even put up a nice decal in the back. You know, a nice interview background. The damn thing is wrinkled. It looks like a shower curtain. And there's nobody from the organization there with you. It just looked like this guy is asking for a ransom. Adrian Broner for a hostage he got. Just sitting in the room. Hey, how you doing? Send me the money and I'll release the guy. Dude, this shit, look, come on, guys. And then, you know, I mean, Terence Crawford was weird enough going over there, but then Adrian Broner, who just talked about, then Adrian Broner just had a mental breakdown. I think this mental thing is really manifesting itself right now. I think both Bud Crawford and Adrian Broner have mental issues right now. And they're making sporadic and weird and ill-advised moves. And people are worried about them. And I think Bob feels guilty that he couldn't help Terence Crawford with his mental issues. Bob Arum feels guilty. You can tell. When they were interviewing him and he just looks down, he just like, damn, bro. No, this nigga didn't just ask me that. He said, look, man. You know, I don't know what's going on in his head. I don't know what he's doing. Terrence has always been, you know, sort of a kid who's been picked on, abused. You know, you hope he's not torturing animals or just, you know, lashing out. Then Sean Porter comes out and says he's the most stubborn guy in sports. That, to me, that wasn't a compliment. He didn't say he was the most shrewd, he was the most accurate, the most lucrative, the most, you know, sharp and witty. He said he was the most stubborn. Sean Porter's father said when he met him, he looked like a little kid out in the street, just angry and tough and just, you know, just had so much stuff in his heart. He's been, you know, in Omaha, he's been through some ramen noodles, man. Some fucking paper food stamps. You know, he has his share out there in the goddamn world. Trying to stay out there from them good old streets. Misunderstood. In the court of public opinion, everybody says that Terrence, I mean, it went from he ducked him to he's dealing with in fraud to he has mental issues. He's not responding. No one knows where he is. I hope he doesn't pull a Dave Chappelle. Terrence is not right, man. I mean, for a guy to be at his level, BLK Prime bet not be, I don't want to hear. And I want to know that he get his money already. I'm not going to hear the fight getting called off because the check wasn't sent yet. And we're still waiting. The money's held up in Dubai. And I'm not trying to hear that shit on for real. For real. No. I'm not kidding. I'm going to leave this one alone. I'm just telling y'all. I'm not trying to hear Terence Crawford canceling some goddamn money, talking about he okay with fighting Earl. I'm not trying to hear it. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to hear it, man.